But nonetheless, we're at the point where we have to wake up again. We have to do it pretty quickly because the earth is moving on, whether we like it or not. We can either refine ourselves and stay with it, or we have another option. And that's what I wanted to talk about. Among the subjects of ascension that are talked about, I get a fair number of emails, and people, it's being brought up more and more now that the notion of an alternate Earth or a parallel Earth reality, some people are saying it's just been decided that not all of us can make the leap, and they're throwing something together really quickly, so we have another reality to incarnate into. Actually, my understanding of it is that for a very, very long period of time, it's been understood by all, including all of the other off-planet cultures and other forces cosmically that have been watching us evolve and keeping an eye on what's going on here, actually trying to assist the people to wake up, humanity to wake up to the true knowledge of who we are for a very long time. Knowing this period of time was coming with such a really vast population, historically speaking, this very large population the Earth is carrying right now, historically speaking, that there was going to be a need for some kind of contingency. And about 25 years ago, I've mentioned many times my trusted source of guidance, there are a few of them, was sharing with me that around this period of time would come a period where the Earth, the species itself would no longer be able to maintain the collective in the way we understand it. Right now we say, hey, we're all in this together. Yes, we're all walking this planet together, but we're vastly different in what we're experiencing and what we're creating, and in our abilities to contend with it. And this is not a judgment call. It might be that, again, we're all here as refined souls trying to wake up and remember. But it might be that one person has experienced so much trauma, so much pain, that the only path has been to turn to a world of drug use, say, for example, to the extreme, where their reality may be living in a flop house in an inner city with other heroin addicts, just drowning out the pain with one injection after another, and no real will left, no hope left, no ability to create left, that's all been essentially lowered on a frequency scale to where there's no means of contending with life as it's presenting itself anymore. Now that's a reality that for most of you watching this, although some of you may have very well even experienced this in your own lives and had to kind of work your way back from it, you would know more than I that this reality is not my reality. It's not your reality now as you're watching this. This is a reality that has been created by some, by default, by pain. This doesn't mean that soul is not an extremely refined, intelligent, creative force. The rift between the waking conscious physical experience has become so great that the ability to connect with our own creative force has been essentially cut off from us. And so we descend in these patterns of, self-destruction, self-abuse, abusing others, and so forth. This is really now what you would call the basic Earth lessons at this point in time. To not cause harm to others, to not cause harm to self. These are lessons that the Earth really can no longer sustain because she's moving on. She's refining, she's shaking things up. In fact, as we're recording this, we're waiting to see if the tsunami from the Chilean earthquake is going to be hitting land, and they're preparing for that in Hawaii and even points further beyond, even Australia. I mean, 3 major earthquakes in 24 hours and 6 major earthquakes in the last 4 to 6 weeks. Things are definitely ratcheting up. The Earth is stretching, shaking, blowing off steam, and evolving herself. So we come to this point. I just mentioned what happens when we can't take it anymore. We're not hanging in there with the prevailing frequencies that are trying to refine and brighten and expand. And so we can descend into this kind of destructive behavior, or we can choose to recognize it and continue choosing as high a path as we can muster in ourselves to essentially fall into a place of acceptance, a place of accepting ourselves, others, what is, the changes that are going on around us, and then from acceptance, understanding, to be able to extend our compassion to ourselves and to each other as a result of these things. And this gets back just a little bit to what I was talking about last month in terms of what's required of us to start helping each other and healing even these devastated areas such as Haiti and Chile this morning.